We helped a health tech startup land 7 new clients in 60 days. That's $150,000 in annual recurring revenue using nothing but cold email outreach. But here's what most people won't tell you about cold email. It's not about sending more emails. It's about sending the right emails to the right people with the right infrastructure behind them. And in this video, I'm going to break down the exact system we used step by step so you can see what actually works. Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Patrick, co-founder of Astris Partners, and we have helped over 60 B2B companies book calls with 85% of the Fortune 500, and we've generated over 8 figures in qualified pipeline. Let me set the scene. This client, a health tech startup serving biotech companies and health systems, had a solid product and proven product market fit. But they had one massive problem: no consistent way to get clients. While they were trying cold email outreach, they were getting almost no results. That's when they came to us, and in 60 days, everything changed. Here's the framework we used: 5 steps that work together as a system. Number 1, message market resonance. Getting your message to actually connect instead of sounding like every other sales email. Number 2, strategic list building. Finding the right people with verified, high quality data. Number 3, infrastructure and deliverability. Making sure emails land in inboxes, not spam folders. Number 4, sniper campaigns and testing. Running high intent campaigns that get responses. And number 5, reply management and booking, turning responses into meetings within 5 minutes. Let me break down each step and show you what we fixed. First, we had to fix their messaging. This is where most companies fail. Their emails were completely generic. Hi, we're company X. We help companies like yours do Y. Book a call. What do you think the reply rate was? 0.1 to 0.2%. 1 or 2 replies per 1,000 emails. Basically nothing. But here's the deeper problem. They were treating cold outbound like inbound marketing. When someone downloads your lead magnet, they may have some interest or enthusiasm, but a cold email is ultimately an interruption. The person isn't looking for you. They don't know you exist. And you can't interrupt someone and immediately ask for a sale. We rebuilt their messaging around what we call message market fit. The message has to be so clear and relevant that when someone reads it, they think, this person understands my problem, and I'm curious to learn more. We stopped talking about them and started talking about the prospect's world, their specific pain points, their industry challenges, problems that most likely keeping them up at night. We created persona-based messaging, specific messages for specific buyer types based on their role, company stage, and current situation. Not trying to be everything to everyone. And we focused on curiosity, not closing. The first email's job isn't to close a deal. It's to start a conversation. Then we added sniper targeting, going after high intent signals, company hirings for specific roles that shows budget and potential pain points, new leadership in their first 90 days that shows they want to make their mark and have quick wins, recent funding, M&A activity, international expansion. That basically shows that there's moments of change. And when you hit these high intent moments, your messaging becomes razor sharp and super relevant. That's when reply rates really climb. Second, we completely overhauled how they built their lists. This is where companies waste the most time and money. So they were using Apollo, which ultimately is a single database and very poor verification. Now, just pulling anyone who vaguely fit their target market is going to give you results of sky-high bounce rates and a damaged center reputation. Here's the problem. Most companies rely on static single databases like Apollo or ZoomInfo's. These tools have their place, but the data is often stale. Email verification rates are somewhere like 80 to 23%. That means that 80% of emails don't exist or will bounce, and every bounce damages your reputation. Enough bounces and your domain gets flagged and potentially blacklisted. What we do is use a proprietary tech stack, pulling from over 27 databases with triple verification in every email. This gets us below 1% bounce rate consistently. But here's where it gets interesting. We deploy AI research agents that can analyze approximately 10,000 accounts per hour, finding trigger-based data points that don't exist in standard databases. Things like recent blog posts about specific challenges, leadership changes, new step tech additions, industry signals that tell us this company is in a higher likelihood of being in a buying position. And here's the key insight. Segment your lists, not your emails. Instead of one giant list where you try to personalize every email, we build a highly segmented list where everyone shares the same or similar pain point or trigger event. Then we send a strong, relevant message to that specific list because we know it applies to all of them. Quality lists beat personalization gimmicks every time. Please remember that. The third step is infrastructure and deliverability. And let's be honest, it's the unsexy stuff nobody talks about, but it's absolutely critical. Best message in the world doesn't matter if it's not landing in the primary inbox. They were actually sending cold emails from their main company domain. This is a massive mistake. One spam complaint or high bounce rate, and you can destroy domain reputation. We've seen this happen a lot of times. Now, your customer emails aren't getting through, partner communications go to spam, investor updates disappear. You do not want this. You've damaged how your entire business communicates. They also had no real sending infrastructure, just their regular business email. So we built proper infrastructure. This is what separates professionals from amateurs. Firstly, we set up around 400 to 500 dedicated mailboxes specifically for cold outreach across Microsoft, Azure, Google, private SMTP. And these are only for cold email, nothing else. Secondly, we use smart routing technology, which means that we have the capability to understand, hey, what is the mailbox that the recipient's using and which mailbox can we send it from? So typically, if you send Google to Google or Microsoft to Microsoft, email providers trust their own infrastructure more, so deliverability can and does improve. Thirdly, we use secondary domains. So instead of asteriskpartners.com, which is our main domain, we would send something like try Asterisk Partners or Asterisk Partners HQ, similar to the main brand if possible, but completely separate. If something goes wrong, it means that the main domain stays protected. Fourthly, we run triple verification. We verify every email 3 different ways to stay below that 1% bounce rate and keep sender reputation. But setting this up is just the beginning. Inbox placement algorithm constantly change. And what works today might not work in 3 weeks or 3 months. So we're constantly testing and monitoring to stay ahead. This infrastructure is not cheap. It's not easy to set up, but it's the foundation of everything. Without it, you are physically throwing money away. If you're finding this valuable, hit that like button and subscribe. We share strategies like this every week to help B2B companies build predictable growth engines. Step 4 is actually running the campaigns, not just any campaigns, but strategic, tested, optimized campaigns. Now, particular client using HubSpot for cold outreach, and other companies still do this. HubSpot's a great CRM, but it's not built for outbound. No testing frameworks, no deliverability optimization, no real control. They weren't testing it. They'd write an email, send it to a bunch of people and pray. No way to understand what worked or improve over time. What we did is we implemented a continuous testing and optimization with 3 major components. Number 1 is sniper campaigns, laser focused on high intent account. Messaging built entirely around triggers that address specific pain points and, as we talked about earlier, some of those change moments. Number 2 was evergreen campaign, testing broader messaging for prospects that may not necessarily show they're an active buying window. Let's be honest, not everyone's ready to buy today, but if you're able to start a conversation with them and put them into a long-term nurture sequence, they will eventually have potential to become a customer. And number 3, constant A/B testing. Subject lines, email copy, CTAs, send time, sequence structure. The only way to know what works for your audience is to test. Simple as that. What we also did is we created in-house assets like lead magnets, case studies, comparison guides to strengthen offers and improve performance. Sometimes what gets the meeting isn't just a good email, but valuable content that demonstrates expertise. And to keep the pipeline full from multiple angles, we also ran re-engagement campaigns for old lists and conference follow-ups, either pre or post-conference, which work really, really well. Step 5 of the process, and I'll be honest with you, this is what gets ignored the most, is reply management and the actual process of booking meetings. We handle all reply management, objection handling, and calendar booking. And here's why this matters. There are studies, multiple studies that shows companies that respond within 5 minutes are 100 times more likely to convert into a meeting and then actually close them than responding those, say, in 24 hours. 100 times. It's not a small difference. That's the difference between a lead that converts and one that disappears. Every positive response gets acted on within that 5-minute window. Someone replies, we're on it. Objection, we handle it. Want to book, it's on the calendar immediately. This is where most cold email dies. Great campaign, terrible follow through. It wastes money, hurts morale, and damages your brand. So before you turn on the outbound fire hose, make sure you can actually handle what comes through. Make sure you're operationally set up to do that. That's really, really important for us when we take on a new partner. We want to make sure that they can handle an influx of qualified leads. So what actually happened with this health tech client? Let me tell you the numbers. Overall campaign performance, a 3-month window, we contacted just under 29,000 prospects. We got on the evergreen campaign 5.2% reply rate, a 43.6% positive reply. Now, to put that in perspective, the average cold email reply industry is like sub 1%. So in this instance, we're getting 5.2. But those replies, nearly half are positive, and about 50 to 70 we book into first call. Most campaigns see maybe 20 to 30% positive replies. That shows the messaging is really, really strong. Here's the top performing campaign, which is one of those sniper campaigns. It's about just over 50 prospects. We got about 20% reply rate and over 61% positive reply. So we actually got 97 qualified conversations from that campaign. And a 20% reply rate means we got 20 times industry standards. And what this actually means in revenue, which is very important for us as well, 7 new clients in 60 days, 150,000 in ARR from a cold email program that wasn't working for them before. Here's what matters. This didn't happen because it's a magic template or a secret hack. It happened because we built a complete system, every piece working together, messaging that resonates, verified lists, protected infrastructure, tested campaigns, fast reply handling. You can't just fix one thing and expect results. It is a system. And if it's not worked for you, don't blame the vehicle. It may be that the approach wasn't correct. If you want to see more case studies and the success we've had for other partners, please head to our website, astrospartners.com. And if you're a B2B company with proven product market fit, ready to build a scalable outbound engine, book a call with me. Link is in the description below. Drop a comment with your biggest cold email challenge. I read every single one and I will come back to you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.